Hello, good evening. It's Dr. Trudy Ufondu of Snowspirations Global Health Solutions. And just a very quick dive into today's topic. Today we're going to talk about how to start your family. So everyone out there wants to start a family, and there is one particular natural process of starting your family. And today we have a very special privilege of actually having a kind of an illustration of the very process that starts the family. So these are actually the two components of the female reproductive system and the male reproductive system, both of which will combine and lead to starting your family. So that's going to be the topic for this afternoon. If you happen to be in the afternoon zone, if you're in night, this is going to be the topic we're going to talk about today. So how do we start a family? So first of all, this is the female reproductive system, and I'm going to quickly give you a few illustration of the different parts. So this is the vagina. Then once you advance a little bit further, you get to the cervix. This is very important junction in the female reproductive system. So the cervix is the junction between the vagina and the womb. Now, when you advance in, you get to the womb. So this is the almighty womb. This is where the baby will develop. This is the strongest organ in the body. Then when you go further, you get to this side of the tube, then this side of the tube, then the ovaries. So you can see the cross-section of the ovaries that contains the egg. So this is the female reproductive system. Very important. Once you have this, this is a reminder you're a mother. So this is all you need to be a mother. Once God gave you this, sometimes you're going to have delays, but once you have this, you're going to conceive your baby, you're going to carry your baby to term, you're going to deliver your baby like other women. Now, the process of starting your family actually begins with this important organ. This is the penis. Now, first of all, in the male reproductive system, there are a couple of other things that happen behind the scenes that finally leads to the process of the penis getting involved. This is the sperm. So I don't know if you can see it a little bit clearly. So this is the sperm. You can see the sperm has a tail. It has a middle piece and a head. Okay, now when a man is in the process of making love with a partner, there will be a couple of reactions that will lead to influx of blood into the penis. When there is influx of blood into the penis will get erect. So for the penis to play a role in the process of lovemaking and ejaculation, there has to be influx of blood. So what leads to erect penis is entrance of blood into the penis. When the sexual act is over and there is removal of blood from the penis, it becomes flaccid or it becomes limp. Now, there's another important place you need to pay attention, the scrotum. So inside the scrotum, you have the testicles. This is actually the powerhouse. This is where sperm is produced. Remember that sperm is not visible to the eye. Sperm is actually able to be seen with the aid of a microscope. What you see at the peak of sexual intercourse is semen. So for every man in their reproductive phase, without any problems, without any challenges, it's expected you produce millions of sperm inside the testicles. There are a couple of ducts that conduct the sperm when it's produced back into the penis. Then during ejaculation, you release the semen. Now, if you have any problems in any of these pathways, it can lead to male factor infertility. One of the vital problems that some men can have is what we call varicocele. So there are veins inside the conducting system in this whole pathway. If there is distension or swollen in the veins inside this conducting system, it will lead to what we call varicocele, which is a condition that can lead to male infertility. Thankfully, depending on how early it was diagnosed, you can get help and you can still become able to be a father. Okay, so this is the male part. Now, how do you start your family? This male pathway have contact with the vagina. So it's going to be ready, it's going to have contact with the vagina. Then at the peak of sexual intercourse, it's going to ejaculate. So this is where the journey begins. So without this whole area, this whole system healthy, you cannot become pregnant. Now, the reason why people might have challenges becoming pregnant, it's when we have problems in any of these parts. So any problem in the vagina can lead to infertility, though less. Any problem in the cervix can lead to infertility. So if you have what we call cervical stenosis or unfriendly cervix or hostile cervix, and it's not able to allow the sperm to come in, when the sperm cannot come in, you cannot become pregnant. Now, you can have problems in the womb. You can have problems in the tube. You can have problems in the ovaries. So anything that affects the basic function, exactly how a woman is supposed to be, will lead to inability to become pregnant. So to start your family, the sperm will come in, get into the womb. When it gets to the womb, it will begin to find its way to the tubes, a special place called the ampulla. When it gets to the ampulla, it's expected that by the time it's getting there, the woman would have had her ovulation. So the woman would have released some eggs from the ovaries. When the egg is released, it's going to be in that particular place called the ampulla. By the time it gets to the ampulla, it's expected that the sperm is already there. The union of the egg and the sperm will lead to embryo. So the first unit that will show that we are getting ready to start a family is the embryo. When the embryo is formed, it's not going to start developing in the tube. It will find its way back into the womb. When it gets to the womb, it will implant. The process of implantation is very important. In some women, when implantation is happening, they can have what we call implantation bleeding, little spotting or bleeding. That's completely okay. It's not constant for all women, but some women can have this. Once everything related to this whole pathway is working perfectly, it's expected that the woman will become pregnant. When you become pregnant, you will cease to bleed. So there is nothing like, oh, doc, I'm pregnant and I'm still bleeding. There is no such thing. It's called bleeding in pregnancy. There are key hormones that will make sure that your pregnancy is sustained up to the point of giving birth. Estrogen, progesterone, FSH, LH, your prolactin, your thyroid hormones. These are basic reproductive hormones. So anything that happens to any of them can affect your ability to become pregnant. Now, a woman is expected to go through three different trimesters. So that's 3 different divisions in pregnancy. The first 3 months called the first trimester, the second 3 months called the second trimester, and the last 3 months called the third trimester. An average pregnancy should last maximum of 42 weeks. Once you get to 42 weeks, that pregnancy is termed post-date, and we have to do everything within our power to deliver that woman. No baby should survive beyond the 42 weeks, because beyond that 42 weeks, your baby is going to be at risk. So the concept of, oh, I carried my babies for 3 years and all those stuff is completely not true. It's not possible. Okay, so then when you are ready for your baby to come, there will be changes in your body, in the cervix, in the whole apparatus, that will now yield to pushing your baby out naturally. So the process that leads to giving birth is called labor. Labor is a very unique process that at the end of the day, your baby is going to be delivered. Now, a pregnancy is not considered successfully ended until we deliver the placenta. The placenta is a very important structure that actually acts as the bridge between the mother and the baby. So we have to deliver the placenta. Once the placenta is delivered, the whole process of pregnancy is done and dusted. So this, in a nutshell, is how to start your family. So remember, it starts with the male reproductive system, with the penis getting erect, then at the peak of sexual intercourse, ejaculation into the vagina, passing through the cervix, getting to the womb, getting to the tubes, then afterwards it will come back to implant in the womb. This is how to be a father. This is how to be a mother. If you understand this better, then as soon as you can, please start practicing your PPP. Pray, play 48 hourly, then practice. If in the event you need help, please get help as soon as possible. Thank you for coming for this particular presentation. I will see you guys again. Bye-bye for now.